Okay, how's everybody doing? So what I want to do is just revisit the Slum Landlord building here. And for those of you that are maybe not familiar with it, or even those that are, you know that under the video vlog, it's called vlog number 200. I did I think it was a 4-part scratch build series on this particular building. And this model, the reason why I want to revisit it, because I want to show you a little bit of an improvement that I wanted to do on this. But you know how it is when you're building a larger project, you sort of get a model done, you feel good about it. And I do feel good about this, but there is something missing. Now, the thing is oftentimes we'll finish, sort of almost finish something, and then we'll go back, cycle back to do something else. And then, you know, maybe months later, even a year later, you can look at it and go, okay, something isn't right. Like there's something, it's almost there, but not quite. Like I really love this building. It is probably, it's in the top 3 for sure, or if not top 2 favorite pieces that I've done or scratch built on River Road so far. So now this, I'll just give you a quick summary on this. So this model was scratch built based on a prototype building that I was on a photo shoot in New Westminster, and the railway tracks are just this side of my fingers. Like on the prototype, SRY goes right by, like through New West. And I was taking photographs on the right of way, and then I was taking a walk down the street down there, and it's pretty run down. The buildings are really decrepit. And this building, there's another one beside it, but this building really caught my eye. And what I did was I improvised it. Like this section here, I was further down, part of another building. There was another building I didn't find that interesting in between. So what I did was I took that part of that building and I merged it in, like on my draft I sketched up. I took this, like this is almost exact to the prototype. Okay, so you can see in the photos the inspiration there. There was a little failed coffee shop down here and so on. And who knows what goes on here, but these buildings are really old and they've been probably sheeted over and covered over, you know, a dozen times. And the reason why I came up with Slum Landlord is because there's a lot of buildings like that where the landlords don't even live in the same country or whatever, and they're just run down, and they hire Jippo contractors to fix things. And that's what I wanted this model to reflect. So what I'm going to do here is, or I'm going to show you what I've done just briefly here. So I wanted to add some fire escapes to this, even though they're not on the prototype, but I just wanted to add a little bit more relief or 3D sort of texture. And I want to show you what I did. Like I don't scratch build everything on River Road because there are really nice kits, obviously, as you know, and detail parts, but I really like this TC Train Group detail part company, as you know. Like they really do excellent prototype detail, featured subject matter, you know, that's just excellent stuff. I mean, I love them. Like they kind of remind me of the old Grant Line stuff, you know. So what I did was I took this fire escape platform and I made 3 of them, and I'll show you where they're going to go. Like here's the first one. Like they're really easy to put together, and what I did was I just airbrushed these dark brown, like rail brown that I do, and then dusted over with a little bit of rust with the airbrush. Like these took like 2 minutes to paint, really, like with the airbrush. And then I just took some Vallejo with some water. I just soaked all this down, spritzered it wet like I do, and I just took some pale white and then some raw umber and just started adding colors to the wet surface until I got this effect. Okay, so what I did was I decided that I would put 3 of these on here, and I'll show you why I picked 3 instead of 4, okay? So I had to drill holes in the facade here, and they'll get mounted, and if there's any, like the hole's a little bit larger than the pins, like they're on the back. Like the nice thing about these little models is there's pins along the whole bottom of the rafters, so you can choose to snip off what you want for mounting, which is what I like about the design of these little fire escapes. So this one's going to go on here like this, okay? Hopefully that won't fall off. And then this one's going to go down here. And then I have one more, and I snipped, oh yeah, so I snipped out some of the railings. Actually, I snipped out every second railing on these because they're full of railings, which is a nice option as well, because I wanted to see through the railings to see the, this tile work and windows through the railings. And oftentimes if you don't, if vertical rods or stanchions, if there's too many, it does a funny tessellation on, like when you videotape. So this one's going to go here, and the reason, like, some might look at this and go, oh, they would never have mounted it that way. Oh yes, they do in the real world. Okay, I've been down this. That's what I want this building to reflect. There's no professionalism or adherence to regulation here on this building, thus the slum landlord, right? Anyway, you can see the difference that those make, right? Like, it really does finish the building. Okay, except for now I have to add, little details, like out on the, how people store stuff on fire escapes. Some of you might have some ideas. Feel free to share them down below if you want. And water would leak through, right? Because they're these graded things. So anything that you wanted to preserve would have to have a tarp over or something. But anyway, and then there's, just in closing, I'll just mention there's these 3 ladders. You can use cage ladders, but hey, this guy didn't use cage ladders. He probably found these fire escapes at a liquidation sale. You know what I mean? And had them trucked in, and had the, the local guy or local contractor guy that accepts single malt for payment, But anyway, I think I'm going to mount a ladder there, and then we'll put one here as well. This one will be further up because they're raised up, right? Like that maybe, and then another one up in there through the opening. And then, just so you know, in closing, like, this is all getting wired too. There's a guy in here. You'll see this when this is lit up, but I'm going to have a flashing light, like a big screen TV, right? Flashing, because people that live like this, they don't have any money, but they can afford a big flat screen TV, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm really happy with this now. These fire escapes. Oh, and I did mention, why 3, not 4? Well, it's that ratio, right? Odd numbers. So if I put another one here, it just would look too symmetrical, too contrived. I wanted to leave one off. And then this is sort of shared, and it just leaves this open space here more, okay? Cheers.